Hello everybody, it's Scott here from HeyUGuys. I hope you're well and staying safe. Welcome back to the channel. If you don't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and give us a little like on this video and your comments after we've spoken about what we're going to speak about, which is a review of Woody Allen's new film, A Rainy Day in New York, which arrives on streaming platforms in the UK this Friday, June the 5th. On this review, I'm joined by Mr. Stefan Pape.
Hello.
And Linda Marric, our reviews editor.
Hello.
So I'll preface this by saying I haven't seen this yet myself, but I'm going to act as a little bit of, I don't know, like Graham Norton. I'm going to host it and stuff like that. So Linda, I know you very, very luckily got to speak to the director himself in the last couple of weeks from his home in New York. So do you want to kick us off and tell us a little bit about his latest endeavor?
A Rainy Day in New York stars Timothée Chalamet and Elle Fanning as a young couple who are at sort of an elite university outside of New York, who decide to. She basically gets to interview this really famous director, and goes to New York to interview him. This director played by Liev Schreiber, and Timothée Chalamet, her boyfriend, decides to tag along and makes sort of a weekend around sort of the trip to New York. And things happen during the weekend that make the Timothée Chalamet, his name's Gatsby, sort of rethink his whole sort of life and his sort of outlook on his life. Basically, that's the short of it, really.
That's the short of it. Well, I mean, you know, I'll say to Stefan about whether you enjoyed it or not. Controversy aside, you know, his movies, as we were just discussing off air, you know, hasn't had a US release yet, I don't think, or maybe has had on Amazon Prime. But over in, you know, the foreign markets, particularly in Europe, he's still very well received, and people still go to see his films. And so much that I think his film broke some records across Poland and other places over the weekend. So there's still a draw to Woody Allen. Is this a return to form? Because he's made a few duds recently, hasn't he?
I mean, lots of people thought Wonder Wheel was a dud. I liked Wonder Wheel, and I really liked A Rainy Day in New York. So I am a fan. I'm a fan of his films, and I do think it's a return to form. I know that many people don't agree with me, and that's absolutely fine. I think it's very whimsical. The film. It's not sort of something to be taken. There's a lot of sort of dreaminess about it, and there's a lot of, it's very talky. It's a very talky film but it's a Woody Allen movie again. So I liked it a lot, and I liked the performances. It's very neurotic as per usual, and it's very sort of self-inspection, you know. But I know I'm in a minority, and I know that many people didn't like it, but I really liked it a lot. So, Stefan, I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, I didn't like it very much, unfortunately.
Okay.
I'm a huge fan of his work, and I think, you know, I think Midnight in Paris and Blue Jasmine are two of the best films this side of the century. I honestly, I think he's I think his work over the last 2 or 3 years has kind of not been as good. But for me, A Rainy Day in New York, it felt almost like someone doing a pastiche of a Woody Allen movie. It felt so Woody Allen. I think it almost, at times, like if you look at like Midnight in Paris, which took risks, and then Blue Jasmine, which was so dramatic. And I think a lot of it comes down to Woody Allen always writes his characters in his voice, always. So he almost writes, because he used to play all the lead roles in his movies, and I still think he writes the characters in his own voice. And I think some people like Owen Wilson mastered it. They brought something different to that Woody Allen type protagonist. And whereas I think Timothée Chalamet, a bit like Jesse Eisenberg, felt like they were imitating Woody Allen. They felt like they were kind of trying to be that neurotic New Yorker, that kind of, and I don't think that it felt very natural. I think in Timothée Chalamet's case, it felt like he was trying to do an impression of Woody Allen. And I don't think I connected with the character, and I don't think it helped that his name was Gatsby.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But I mean, look, some of the moments were lovely in any Woody Allen movie, even the ones I'm not a huge fan of, because he can be hit and miss in recent years. There are still scenes or moments that are beautiful. He'll still have a film which might be a bit not great, and then there'll be one moment, one kiss, one shot that I just go, ah. And there were a couple of those moments. It wasn't a complete dud in my eyes. I just think I spent a lot of the film rolling my eyes and thinking that it felt like a filmmaker, sadly, coming towards the end of his career, just throwing out something that felt a little bit like might have been a nostalgia trip for him, but didn't feel like it offered much by way of kind of innovation for us, I think. And I don't think that's because he's not capable of it anymore. Blue Jasmine showed that he's got such brilliant stories in there, but this just felt a bit too samey in my eyes, unfortunately.
I mean, let's put it this way. He's 84 and he has released a film almost every single year since 1981. There was a slight problem with A Rainy Day in New York because he had problems with Amazon, who pulled it, and it was supposed to be coming out last year. 2018, I think. And I think he missed 2 years of not releasing a film. And I think you said earlier that you felt like he writes with like everyone sort of sounds like exactly like he sounds. So I think that is the whole point of the movie. I think it's not that every single male character in it has a bit of him. The Liev Schreiber has a bit of him. The Jude Law is the most sort of Woody Allen sort of character, isn't it? Like I said, Jude Law is in it. Rebecca Hall is in it, and I don't know. I mean, I liked it a lot. Maybe I am biased because I really do adore all of his films, and also I wrote my review before speaking to Woody Allen, so I had no sort of, I didn't sort of give it a good review after speaking to him. But I really liked him when I spoke to him, and he was very open and sort of. I really liked what he had to say. So if you want to read my interview with him, you can search for it online. Not to advertise, but yeah. But
I was going to say that I think you're right about writing characters in his own voice. But if you think about the classic Woody Allen protagonist, which was often himself, he was self-deprecating and awkward, and kind of he would be the first person to say he didn't quite fit in, or he would be felt unattractive in rooms full of like kind of producers and artists and stuff like that. And there was part of him that was very relatable, and that he felt internalized and quite sort of, I don't know, a bit of at times a bit odd, a bit quirky. But Timothée Chalamet is this like handsome, gorgeous young man who's cool and trendy.
Yeah, no.
Part of why it didn't work for character was because Woody Allen's characters are so self-deprecating and awkward, and Timothée Chalamet is the most opposite to that. And I just don't know if I connected the Woody Allen voice with that aesthetic, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but the Chalamet, sorry, to just go back to the Chalamet character in the film is deliberately extremely annoying and very sort of like thinks very highly of himself, and he's verbose and sort of like self-congratulatory, and he thinks that he's better than everyone, but deep down he's just a scared little boy who doesn't really know where his life is going. I like that about it. It's not he isn't the character that you think he is in the end. I mean, he starts off like he's showing off, he plays sort of poker, and but deep down he's very confused because he's got problems with his girlfriend, he's got problems with his family. I liked it. I really liked that character. So yeah.
But just one quick thing I was going to say. It's one thing that's definitely not realistic is interviews with film directors do not lead to going to parties and having drinks with them and being shown first cuts of their latest movie and stuff like that. 5 minutes in hotel rooms and usually get kicked out by publicists. But anyway.
Unless you're Elle Fanning. Elle Fanning.
Yeah. You sometimes don't even get a biscuit for your troubles. Never mind. Anyway, so there we go. There's two parallel views of A Rainy Day in New York by Woody Allen, which is out tomorrow as we're recording this, which is Friday, June the 5th. Linda, just a quick star rating.
I've given it 4 stars. I don't care.
Very good.
4 stars.
And Stefan?
I would have given it 2. And I don't say that's one of those people that's like, oh man, I don't want to watch anything by Woody Allen. I do. I still enjoy watching his old classics and stuff. But in this instance, 2 stars.
2 stars. Well, that's good. It's good to have a nice these nice yin and yang, as they say, to have opinions. But there we go. The film is released, as I say, on June the 5th, and that's our little review. So when you see the film, give us your comments below. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel, which Dave will put somewhere around here. And make sure you keep your eye on HeyUGuys.com for all your film and TV news, reviews and interviews. There's lots of stuff going up all the time. And so until next time, thank you guys for joining me, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care and goodbye.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey,